If you've ever shopped online, and let's face it, who hasn't? Chances are you've bought something from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? The one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes things easier, and not just for shoppers. They make it easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. It gives you a leg up from day dot with hundreds of beautiful ready-to-go templates to express your brand style so you can get up and running fast. You can tackle your important tasks from inventory to payments to analytics and more, all in one place. You can also spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools built for you to find and keep new customers. And remember that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already know and love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
The rural way of life is about making everyone feel at home. Tractor Supply chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to transform intelligent customer service. Together, we put the power of AI to work across 2,200 stores, keeping things running seamlessly inside, curbside, and countryside. This is elevated customer experience. This is Tractor Supply with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
Welcome to a new episode of But Am I Wrong? How are you doing, Megan?
Not wrong. I'm never wrong. That's how I'm doing. I'm consistently right all of the time. And I even got people saying, what's it like to be right all the time when I posted my propaganda I will not be falling for TikTok and Instagram. And I have to say, guys, you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. It is. We bear a lot of responsibility being right all the time.
Yeah. But it's a burden that I'm here to bear.
And we're here to, you know, spread that and share that with our gift and our talent. And that's why we have this podcast to share with all of you.
Yeah. So we've got 3 different segments. We'll get into them all before each of those segments. But what you should know is that if you like us, you should like us. If you don't, hate listen. I don't care.
Yeah, it's
you
fine.
can also hate watch on Patreon and pay us.
Hey, we're not immune to a hate watch ourselves. Like,
right.
We understand. It's okay. It's a natural part. It's human nature. And that's okay.
You can see how good my hair looks. Don't look back there where the headphones are messing it up.
Yeah, that's not your problem. That's the headphones.
Yeah.
No, your hair looks great.
Thanks.
The thing you have to know about this podcast is we want you to vote on who you think was wrong in each one of our segments. We'll explain each one before the respective one. We're not going to overwhelm you with information, but vote on who you think was wrong. And Megan, Melissa, how do you do that? Great question. Thank you for asking. You go to our Instagram story. We post stories up in there. We add them to our highlights, and it's one for each episode. And you tip, tap, tap, use those little thumbs, vote who you think was wrong, who is not wrong, and then use those thumbs again and write in why you voted the way that you did, your thoughts and your feelings, share it. And then we read all of that on our See You Next Tuesday episodes. We read the results from the previous week's episode. And sometimes we even have like updates, things that have changed, like more information that's come out since. And sometimes like if it's something that one of you wrote in for, we might even have a little update, a little more information. And we share all of your thoughts and feelings and opinions anonymously. Do not worry. Unless you don't want to be anonymous, tell us. We'll give you a shout out. We'll call you out by name. If you want your name out there, you want that you're single and what city you live in, we can also do that. Like, we can matchmake for you, whatever you're looking for. We're here to help. And we read all of that on that episode, and it's a great grand old time.
I'm still cheering for someone in Tulsa and someone in Atlanta to get together.
Me fucking too. Me fucking too. Shipping it.
Julia. Isn't that the name of your show?
The fact that you remembered that, and I was like, what the fuck is she saying? No, you're correct. Shipping Julia. ADHD is sometimes a blessing, because I truly forget that things people experiences existed. And Shipping Julia is one that consistently, I don't even have to try to forget. I forget all the time. And unfortunately, I'm forced to remember also all the time.
I've never seen it, because
you haven't been on a Royal Caribbean ship.
No.
Yeah.
They're still showing it, right?
Oh, Melissa, of course they're still showing it. That is, I would love to go back and look at a contract to be like, I'm sorry, where did it say in perpetuity? Like, the way that this is still, I was 18, I think, maybe 19.
It's 19. Been over 10 years.
I was saying, that's what I'm saying. It's been well over 10 years. I think I was 19. Excuse me? What?
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, should we get into our first segment?
We shall. Our first segment is But Am I Wrong?, where we pitch to the other person and to the audience either a rant, a hot take, or something that's happened in our lives that we want to know if we are in the wrong about. It can span from so many things. This segment brought you Big Kale. This segment brought you Melissa lies about farting on, there has been so many things. So what do you have for us today?
Today I have a rant.
Love it.
And if you're all listening. I don't know anybody that's sitting there just reading the transcripts. If you are, great, cool.
What a unique way to consume.
I have still a little tickle in my throat. I had a sinus infection. I feel better, except for when I'm talking a lot, which can be cumbersome when you do have a podcast. Mm-hmm. But I've still got a cough. I'm sleeping through the night. All
that's
week,
a big
so
one.
that's all that really matters. But there's still stuff in my chest that's still coming up.
So get it off your chest.
Exactly. So as we navigate the ebb and flow of respiratory illnesses, that familiar tickle in your throat, the sudden onset of a fever or persistent stuffy nose, it begs a crucial question. Do we have the tools we need to respond effectively and efficiently? It's that time of year when a fever, sore throat, and stuffy nose could easily signal flu or COVID-19. And while at-home tests for COVID-19 became an indispensable weapon during the pandemic, many people may not realize that we now have something even more powerful, at-home combination tests that check for both SARS-CoV-2 and influenza AB. This isn't just about convenience, it's about empowerment, speed, ultimately about safeguarding our health and the health of our communities. Last winter, the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, recognized the urgent need and granted emergency use authorization for a number of these combined flu COVID-19 tests. This fall, they went even further, granting the first full marketing authorization of at-home tests. This isn't just an expedited approval, it signifies a more thorough review of safety and efficiency. These combo tests, like Pfizer's tests and other home tests, are already available online and in pharmacies, typically from $25 to $30 for a 2-pack. The tests also are expected to be widely available soon. So why are these tests so vital? Dr. Scott Roberts, a Yale Medicine infectious disease specialist, puts it simple. They're a useful tool, especially because they facilitate prompt treatment. Think about it. When you start feeling unwell, what's your first instinct? Often it's to wait a day or two, see if it gets better. Then you might call your doctor only to find the soonest appointment is in another 2 days. By that point, if you have the flu, you might be past the crucial window for taking antiviral treatments like Tamiflu, which ideally should be started within 48 hours of symptoms. Similarly, COVID-19 antiviral therapies like Paxlovid are most effective when they're started within 5 days. With the at-home test readily available, the entire timeline changes. You can test yourself the moment symptoms appear. If positive, you can immediately contact your doctor for a prescription, ensuring that you get the most benefit out of these treatments. And this speed can make a significant difference in the severity and duration of your illness. But the benefits extend beyond individual treatment. Knowing your diagnosis, even if not interested in antiviral therapy or other outside therapies, it is incredibly helpful. It empowers you to prevent further spread of illness. By testing at home, you avoid potentially exposing vulnerable individuals in crowded waiting rooms or healthcare settings. You also know to stay away from others who are high risk for serious illness from flu or COVID-19, including babies and old people and anyone who is immunocompromised. It's a simple act of personal responsibility that has a ripple effect for public health. And so I think we need more tests, not just for flu, not just for COVID-19. We need RSV tests. We need science infection tests. We need to be able, anything that can be easily tested. You trusted us with home tests during a pandemic. I think that we can handle this, especially because doctors are always backed up. And these are just like routine, easy things. So it needs to be more readily available for us to be able to do these tests. I know if you're in another country, you might be like, we already have these tests. Yeah. Cool. That's not helpful for us. I want you, if you write in, share how it's been helpful for you. Don't just like rub it in our faces and be like, we're already doing it. No one cares.
Take that advice always permanently on this podcast. Yes. Like I will say, like, people go, oh my God, I can't imagine living in a third world country. Like, we don't have that. Okay. That is deeply unhelpful.
No, it does nothing.
No, it does nothing.
So let's do it. They're not even I feel like RSV should be the next one up. They're not even working on it.
No,
do it.
It's babies and old people. And in general, it seems like things that they only really care about is like when it's like actually killing people of workforce age.
Yes.
That's what they get upset about.
But RSV has started doing that. Yeah. There's more and more people that are in our age group that are getting RSV. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they don't even know it's RSV because they'll do those tests and they'll be like, okay, I don't know. I guess it's just a cold. And then it lasts for a whole month.
Yep. And they're spreading it to more and more people and more and more people and all that. I would love to petition to add as well to that strep. And here's the thing.
Yes. Strep is on my list too.
I'm fine with swabbing my little dingle hopper in the back of my throat.
I love it.
That one I'm very fine with. Like I'm not like Melissa. I don't get off on the nasal swabs from COVID.
I love both of them.
I don't love the nasal swab. The throat one is way easier for me. So like I'm fine with that. And other countries, now I will say this was helpful when people interjected with this. In other countries, some places have started implementing at home. You do like a self pap smear. And so
yes,
let me. Sorry.
They've actually started that in the U.S. too. They've approved it. They're just waiting for it to. It'll eventually be where we'll all be able to get it at the drugstore. So that's happening. There are other things that are being put in place, and it's not gonna do anything but help. Also, I think that in the same way that we can get Claritin D, and like Claritin used to only be prescription, like within our lifetime, you could only get Claritin by prescription. And then they made the regular Claritin that you can get over the counter. And then here, you can't do this in Arkansas. So then I know it's not widespread. You can get Claritin D behind the counter. Mm-hmm. Probably meth. That's probably the issue. But in California, we can get Claritin D. But I think that like a Z-Pack and like the little Tesla Pearl things, you should be able to just get those at the counter in the same way that you can get Claritin D.
You should be able to get them in an Easter basket. Like we should drop them from the sky. I
understand, like with the antibiotic, there are
certain you don't want antibiotic resistance,
and you don't want to be on too many medications. So I think there does need to be like a cross with a pharmacy when they know what you've purchased. So, but like, make the drugs more available. People will be if they're so concerned with the workforce, if you can just get a Z-Pack after testing, you're back to work faster.
Totally. When I went to urgent care for my UTI, like I was like, oh my God, let me see if I can figure this out like myself, if this is what it is, whatever. And I remember when I went and they, you pee into a cup and like you do that. And there's like 2 variants of tests. So they like do the testing there and then they have one that they send off for like specific, whatever, to figure out if it's something else. And I remember being like, I'm glad that I went, but it was kind of just like, oh, this is a lot. And the way that they were like, okay, so are you sure you want to come here? Do you sure you don't want to go to the ER? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go to the ER. But it was like, I'm so sorry. If this is something that like can get serious so fucking quickly, and like this is something that like I've had like mild symptoms, whatever, but like this is something that can get like serious so fucking quickly. And like you want me to just like, you want to say that maybe I should just like straight up just go to the ER. In reality, like it would be a hell of a lot easier if for certain things when you like the barrier of doing this thing is like if you're in a lot of fucking pain, I think with like strep in general, like when you start when it's something that you get sick really fast with and you have to take like antibiotics for, but you like, it's not that you can just do a telehealth appointment because like there needs to be a test result. Like there needs to be something for that. I'm like, and when we were there and they tested, Mott's was like, wait, as a kid, I remember in general tests, like used to take so much longer. And I was like, I know. That's why I think now that it's not like waiting when you're a kid and you got strep test and you wait like 24 hours, 2 days, whatever. And they go, no news is good news. It means you don't have it. But if we call, you do. He was even saying, he was like, the fact that they can tell you this in the office, like makes it seem like you should be able to do at least a preliminary test at that point to like, then know exactly what you're going in for, timing this better and all of that, especially if you're like incredibly uncomfortable with something like that. Like that's something that I'm like, yeah, it should just be able to be a little bit easier. You can do a pregnancy test at home. Like, come on.
Yeah. So in conclusion, the widespread availability of at-home tests for illnesses should not be a luxury. It's a public health imperative. It empowers individuals to take control of their health, facilitates timely treatment, and helps curb the spread of illness. We need to continue advocating for accessible, affordable, and readily available at-home tests for all common respiratory illnesses and illnesses beyond that it's safe for us to do it at home. Let's make proactive health management the new standard. Thank you very much.
You've got my vote.
You've
got my vote. Fucking easy. Easy. I feel so incredibly strongly about this as a whole. And like, I think if those fucking all these telehealth companies or even beyond that, all these ones that are like, oh, we know that healthcare is like really hard. We're like a premium concierge healthcare service, all of those kinds of things. And I'm like, can I do these XYZ tests at home? And even people who are like naysayers of this, of being like, well, these pap smears are not necessarily, they're sensitive enough that like an inconclusive answer is going to be, those come up more often than like, no, you're totally fine. It's more often false positives than false negatives. And then that gets people to go to the doctor. But like those people are not like people who are on top of their appointments, doing all that kind of stuff. Those are not the people who are going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to forego and go for the at-home option. It's the people who aren't doing it as a whole make us all hell of a lot better.
But also, like, doctors are so busy.
Yes. And some of them is so easy, just a swab.
Yeah. Speaking like with my friends that are doctors, there's so much now with how everything's digitalized. There's so much more paperwork that they actually have to do and input in the computers, which is good as far as like having more accurate records, but they're not able to see as many patients as they've been able to see in the past. So like if we cut out some of these easier tests, that gives, when you do go to the doctor, you can have more quality time for them because they're not bogged down with these things that can be taken care of at home.
Totally. And I think like if we do that, then there's like tests that like I didn't even know were necessarily available. So like for my sinus infection, no one told me that there were different like that I should get a sample of my snot tested to find out why it's not being resistant to all of these sort of things. But like I'm going to get this over and over and over again. But I'm like, if I had already gone through the process of like, hey, know that I have a sinus infection, did this medication, all of that, then the time that I'm actually spending the time to go to the doctor, it would be like, that's the next thing on our step is for this. It's the further testing. It's like to figure the stuff out more. I don't know. As a whole, preventative healthcare is like like it's if we focus so much more on preventative healthcare, so many other things would do a lot better, like exponentially. And having preventative healthcare right now, there's just like no time. There's like the waits, everything is so huge, so it's getting pushed off. If you put that back onto the option of having patients be able to start the process of that themselves, I think it would make everything a lot better.
Me too.
But unfortunately, we have a man with a brainworm who's, you know. Did you see who Trump just hired for the anti-terrorism?
Mm-mm.
He is he used to work at a grocery store. He's 22 years old.
What?
Uh-huh.
Whose child is he?
He had an internship at the Heritage Foundation for like a summer, but he just graduated college and he worked at a grocery store.
Okay.
Yeah. Though my other favorite is, the girls are fighting. They've turned on each other. And Elon said, by the way,
he's in
Trump,
the Epstein
he's in the Epstein files. That's why he doesn't want them released. And I'm like, so are you. And I'm addicted to this. Like, take yourselves down.
All right. We're going to take a break. And when we get back, we'll get into Meghan's.
Woo! Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. We've talked about OneSkin before. Did you know your body starts accumulating senescent cells as early as your 20s? Also called, what are they called, Melissa?
Zombie cells.
These cells stop producing collagen and hyaluronic acid like they used to, and they start secreting an inflammatory substance that makes neighboring cells dysfunctional too. There is an answer for these zombie cells, though, and it comes from our friends at OneSkin.
Founded by an all-woman team of scientists, OneSkin is the first and only skin longevity company to target cellular senescence, a key hallmark of aging, with their proprietary OS1 peptide. OS1 is scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. Don't just take our word for it, though. They've got over 4,000 five-star reviews for their full line of face, body, sun, and travel-sized products.
But if you want to take our word for it, know that we love them. We are using them constantly. The OS1, the way it goes on, so easy, so simple. You notice a huge difference with them, and your skin looks great.
Yeah, I have become a fan of the Rich Eye Cream because it's like thick, but it's lightweight, and I can just easily use it as part of my routine.
OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started with 15% off using code BLAMEME at oneskin.co.
That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
Fresh air, sunshine, and good food. That's what spring is all about. See how I didn't include spring cleaning in there? That's not my favorite. But one of our favorites is HelloFresh. We love HelloFresh. They make it easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every single week by curating delicious recipes. Like they have a pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, and pecan-crusted trout. Okay, fancy. As well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats. In 2025, they're evolving to fit every lifestyle by bringing customers even more convenience. And we love convenience here. All without compromising on taste or the homemade quality. They've got new ready-made meals, which offer chef-crafted flavorful dishes that are ready in just, drumroll please, 3 minutes. Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal fresh produce and proteins that travel from farm to your doorstep. Plus, the deliveries are super flexible, so you can pause or skip when you need. We have been huge fans of HelloFresh here for so long. You already know that. We love them. I have made so many delicious things. We recently had like a pork mushu lettuce wrap. Oh, when I tell you, it might be going in my personal HelloFresh Hall of Fame. Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make this season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/BlameMe10FM to get 10 free meals with a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
We are back. And I have, is it a rant? Is it a impassioned speech? Yes, but at first it has to start with a retraction. And that is, I apologize for every negative thing I've ever said about cruises. I think more people should go on cruises because some people, that's the vacation that they deserve.
Okay. You made my...
It was on purpose.
Yeah, that was... I was about to say, this is
who don't want to be on a big boat.
This is the hottest take that you've ever had.
It is. Some people, cruises were made for them, and more importantly, they were made for cruises. I've been sitting here for so long, so many years, being like, as the star of Shipping Julia, as the Julia of Shipping Julia, I'm like, get off these boats, motherfuckers. Like,
I didn't even know you were Julia. I learned something new.
I think I was. Now that I said it, maybe I was. I'm pretty sure I was. So, as someone who has been heavily critical of floating Las Vegas and on the water, all of these things, I would like to take it all back. And you might be wondering, Meghan, where has this change of heart come from? And that has come from hearing about the tourists in Puerto Rico who there's a frog called the coqui frog, which is like I'm not making a comparison, but I would think that what the coqui frog is to Puerto Rico is what Soraya thinks bald eagles are to the United States. Like it is a pride, like it is a treasured part of like the culture and like, the sounds, and like there are people who are posting videos, TikToks of like their kids who have since moved out of Puerto Rico who literally like listen how some people listen to rain noises to fall asleep. They like listen to like 7 hours straight of these rainforest sounds. And these tourists are asking each other, they're posting on Reddit, and they're saying, is there a spray to keep those noisy frogs quiet? Oh. It blew up on Reddit, and it is posted in Puerto Rico Travel from the account Duty Man Buns. Fitting. I overheard a couple at a restaurant in Coronado talking about spraying their Airbnb to keep the frogs from croaking all night long as they are extremely loud, and they said it worked. I didn't catch what type of product it was, and they left before I got a chance to ask them, and I haven't found anything online or in stores. Anyone know what they might be using? I definitely would like to get some. I love nature, but my God, those things are so loud at night and a little annoying. Huh? Mm-mm. So they are sourcing with amongst each other. How could we kill what I have to assume is a protected species? This is a rainforest. Everything in a fucking rainforest is most often protected, especially protected from visitors. Like you can have permits to like, you can't even hunt in most places if you are not from there and you don't have a permit to do that, let alone spraying fucking a frog because it frogged. It made a frog noise. Excuse me? Puerto Rico, they already have to deal with the Pauls being there. And now you're going to come fucking kill their frogs? And to that I say, have you ever heard of a cruise ship? I think you might love it. I think you might love a frozen yogurt machine. I think you might love a medley of show tunes sung by someone in a velvet gown in a dimly lit room with a big piano. What about unlimited soda flavor options? I think you might like that. What about tiny little rooms that are so quiet and dark? Maybe you should do that. And you know what? The only sounds you have to hear is the sounds of the sea and the sounds of your morally corrupt consciousness keeping you awake at night.
Wow.
And that's mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit with you on this one. Like, yeah, I didn't know that was happening, but I'm not surprised. And I'm sure it's probably people that also moved there that are complaining about it too.
Well, I was gonna say it's people who view Puerto Rico as America Island. And therefore they think, well, I also own this place. So therefore I can say and do whatever. And I would also just say, I think a lot of those people are probably also from Florida. And I go, by the way, you guys have a fuck ton of frogs there. And now I have questions. Are you killing frogs in Florida as well?
Probably.
Because I remember the East Coast pools, maybe it happened in California, but like not in NorCal so much. But like when I would go to like Connecticut, or specifically when I was in like Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, like the community pool, like frogs, especially during the summer, would get in the filter cleaners. Yeah. And then we would be like, oh my goodness. And like they weren't dead. It wasn't like they were killed by being in the drain. Like, and you would just you would set them out. And so now I'm thinking about all those fucking people. I'm like, were you just then murdering them once you found them in there? It's also a frog. Like, that's like the star of a children's book. Like, that is like, it's like a cute animated animal. It's not like something like, oh, this is a snake. This is something that like I have been taught to fear. It's a fucking frog.
When I was a kid and I went to go stay with my grandmother, she always liked to keep her windows open at night, and the crickets would be out chirping away. And I hated that noise. But then I grew to love it because I was like, this actually is relaxing once I took a moment to realize how beautiful it actually was. And if they would take a moment to realize how beautiful this actually was and get off their fucking high horses, then they would enjoy it. Colonize their high horses, I should say.
Why go to rainforest if you do not enjoy sounds of rainforest?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could hear that at the fucking Rainforest Cafe. This is not a brand new sound that you're like, couldn't expect this to happen. Like, you could, what? It's so weird. But I will say, to give a little shout out to the coqui frog. They are a small nocturnal tree frog native to Puerto Rico. They are known for the distinctive two-note coqui call, which can reach 80 to 90 decibels, similar to a lawnmower. They are a national symbol of Puerto Rico and hold deep cultural significance, appearing in indigenous Teano art for thousands of years. And the lifespan is only 4 to 6 years. And
let them enjoy their life.
Their short fucking life. And you get on a cruise ship. Get on the Lido deck. What is it called?
That sounds right.
Doesn't it? Yeah, one of those.
That's something.
Yeah, one of those decks. Get on one of those decks. Walk the plank too. And hey, there's entertainment there for you. Shipping Julia. If only I got residuals, then people would be like, is that why you're pushing people on cruise ships now? I do not get residuals, everybody.
I wish you did.
Oh, me too.
All right, now we're going to get into But Are You Wrong? That's when you people write in to butamiwrongpod at gmail.
Distancing yourself.
Mm-hmm. You people write into butamiwrongpod at gmail.com, or you can use our form, which also you can upload voicemails too if you want at this time. No one's done it yet. Keep it to 300 words or less. Include your pronouns if you'd like. Include your age. Always. You must be 18 or older. And also, if it's relevant, your race. Should we get into the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Am I, 28, she, her, wrong for not bringing my 2-year-old daughter on our family Christmas trip to the Dominican Republic? My parents are separated, so I've spent my entire life house hopping around the holidays, and over the last few years, I have made the suggestion to both sides of my family that instead of buying us gifts, that money should be spent on vacation or an experience of some kind. Well, this year, my dad and stepmom finally listened, kinda. My stepmom planned a vacation, but we are still paying our way, so it's not like it's just a gift, which fine. I'm just happy to be going on vacation. In the initial discussion, we thought to book a family-friendly resort so that kids are welcome, but this would only be an accommodation for my daughter because the other kid, my brother's son, is 18. My fiance and I always said that we didn't want to be those parents that wait till our kids are old enough to remember to travel with her. But we've also made it known that our first relaxing tropical vacation would be just us. Because after 9 years together, we still haven't been on an inclusive type vacation, only a small road trip. I understand this is technically a family vacation, but it being a resort where we have our own room, we'll still have plenty of time to spend just the two of us. Now that we're officially booked and I'm scheduling care for my daughter, guilt is starting to set in. Though we still have more Christmas events for her to enjoy, I'm still wondering, is this just typical mom guilt, Or am I wrong for not planning to bring her along, as this is technically a replacement for a Christmas celebration? Here's why I think it's wrong. One, this is a family vacation and everybody else's family members will be there. Two is Christmas. Christmas is a family holiday. And I remember things from when I was 2 and 3. And I'd be pissed if I remember Christmas without my parents. 3, yes, it's vacation. But again, it's still a family vacation. And this is your daughter. This is not a vacation to just you and your fiance or just, 9 years in. This is just the two of us. This is all we're doing. I don't like this at all.
No, and I think you're treating this like a replacement for the fact that you and him have talked about wanting to do something with like you and him. This isn't something with you and him. So like,
no,
this isn't it.
It's a family vacation.
Yeah.
If
and like
you guys were just taking a trip together,
fine.
Not during Christmas, great.
Totally.
If it was like New Year's, cool.
And it's just you two, and this is something that you wanted to do, but like not including a member of the family on a family vacation, it is, especially over the holidays, like I think is like super weird. And I also think like you will be disappointed with this trip because you are using, I'm assuming like you're using this to satisfy the fact that like, oh, we haven't had a vacation, just all of that. It's still, you're going to have family vacation obligations.
It's a family trip.
You're not going to be able to do the same things you would do if it's just you and him. So like, I think you would be disappointed at like in the extent of the trip because like also, no offense, but like planning a vacation is not a gift.
No,
like you're still
not at all.
paying your own way. And like, if the way that you make it worth it to pay your own way is that like, it needs to be a real, like, it's taking up the budget of what would have been one for you and just your fiance, then you need to downsize the trip. And the trip needs to be downsized to something much smaller and maintain a family vacation so you can still have the funds saved to do a tropical, something with your fiance, just you and him together. But like, this can't be both at all. And like, especially like, maybe I'm without a doubt coming at it from a bias, but like, yes, like there are kids who remember things at like 2. I will say that as someone who has had like holiday stuff specifically be like family fucked you over on a holiday, like that's something that like really sticks with you. But even if you're incredibly lucky that like on the off chance, like you're like, that like your kid does not have memories from that time, other people have memories from that time. And that will get brought up in front of a older kid talking about how, remember when you were 2 and we left you to all go on this family vacation here. And like, sure, will she maybe not remember going on that vacation? Maybe. But then someone, especially like,
pictures.
If it's grandma or whatever, and then grandma's like talking about like, oh yeah. And like, who's going to like, do other family members want to watch your kid over Christmas?
Mm-hmm. And then they have to create like Christmas memories for your child.
Mm-hmm.
That's messed up to me.
Yeah. It sounds like you need a vacation. And that's wonderful. This is not a vacation. This is a family trip. And to like it's fine to not want to like travel, but which I'm confused about because we always say we want to be those parents that wait until our kid is old enough to remember to travel with her. But then you don't want to bring her. So like, it's okay. I'm very okay with people who don't want to travel with their child when their child is young. Not because even they don't remember, but because like that's a lot of work. And like if your kid is really stuck on a routine, all that, that's totally fine. You don't have to do that kind of travel, or you can also plan your own separate kind of travel. But to say you don't want to be those parents who wait, but then you're waiting, like why? Like, why don't you want to bring her? Is it because you're feeling like that the accommodations are only going to have to be made for you and the rest of the family doesn't have kids? Are you feeling like you're going to be made to feel like you guys are a burden and that like it's going to weigh and make the trip not as fun? Then maybe the trip isn't a great idea with these people.
Yeah, this is something that should have been said when it was brought up. Hey, we're planning a trip. And you're like, that's too much for my 2-year-old to be doing. And then let's plan this for another time. That's not a family trip.
And it's funny because you said in the initial discussion, we said to book a family-friendly resort so the kids are welcome. And was family okay with that? And then it's kind of like, well, we said our first tropical vacation would be just us. No offense, too late.
I went to the Dominican Republic a couple of years ago. And we stay at, it wasn't like labeled, quote unquote, a family friendly resort, but people had their kids there.
Yeah, it wasn't adults only.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want like a relaxing tropical vacation just to be your fiance and you, this isn't it either. If your family's there. And like, if that was really, really, truly super important to you, you need to have done that sooner or reschedule this. But like also saying that you've been trying to get their side of the family to like do a trip instead. And then they finally do. And it's like, oh, well,
it's
now
not even a gift.
It's no. And like, it's also like, just because it's the first time they're doing it doesn't mean you have to hop on this and be like, yeah, this sounds like a great pull and a great opportunity. Because again, even if you go and you do not bring your daughter, it will not be a relaxing, intimate like vacation, tropical vacation with just you and your partner. It won't be that. It's going to be like it's literally like visiting family for Christmas, but in a different location.
Yep.
And I think the guilt right now is I don't really think it's guilt. I think it's your conscience telling you that like, hey, if I do this, I'm going to feel really fucking bad. Like, it's only going to get
mom
worse.
Guilt because both of us feel the same way and we're not moms.
No, this is like a rational thing. I don't think this is like your brain telling you you're not doing, like, I think this is your heart being like, I think this is actually a mistake. Mm-hmm. And I agree. It is.
All right. We're going to take a break. And when we get back, we'll get into the next one.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Business. How can you free up your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders to not only streamline purchasing, but better support their teams so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more about the technology, insights, and support available at amazonbusiness.com.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
We are back, and it is time for my pick. One of my close friends, call her Martha, started dating this guy, Rob, 6 months ago. The relationship started out rocky with him ghosting her over and over until they finally hung out. He is on house arrest for an assault 3 years ago, which he said he didn't do, but didn't want to fight, and she believes him. I have been noticing that he is very controlling. He puts Martha down, tags along to girls' night, and doesn't speak to anyone, causes fights when she wants to go out, and says he knows how girls are. I've been noticing a change in her too. She is flaky, on her phone 24/7, doesn't dress nice, talks bad about herself, and honestly seems so unhappy and grumpy. Am I wrong to confront her with my concerns? He is moving into her house as we speak, and she is going to rely on him financially.
Isn't he on? Wait.
I'm assuming he's saying she's not going to work anymore, or she's
gonna. But isn't he on house arrest? Does he have a stay-at-home job?
But also, is he transferring his house arrest to her house?
Right.
It's a really good point. Also, how is he coming to hangouts if he's on house arrest?
It can't. It can't be within a depending on what the house arrest. It can be in a certain radius. If you live in the
apartment above, like the coffee shop and Friends, but like it's
or
not
if it's during a certain hours of the day, they can go a little further.
I guess it depends. The person I knew on house arrest, there was not a lot of the yard, and there were some parts of the yard that Meghan, go grab that, and I said okay. So. I guess it depends.
It depends. Oh, I guess his house arrest also could be like, he can still go to work. Like that's within.
Yeah, that's within hour. It's like specific hours, and they like just track it's approved location. So maybe her place is an approved location.
Or he's changing his residency.
Mm-hmm.
Get her away from this man.
Yes.
By any means necessary.
I don't even care if you have to gaslight her and lie to her. I don't care. Like, whatever you got to do to get away from this man. This man is bad news. And they can't live together. And she cannot rely on him financially. And I would say confronting her is not the right word I would use. Like, you have to go about this like in a very like kind and like gentle way. Also, while knowing that it's probably not going to work, but you have to keep like the line of communication open. But most importantly, you need to look up his name. You need to find out the name of his parole officer, and you need to keep everybody in the loop about his ankle and where it's going. Or do you know who the case is against? Is this a sentencing, or is this is he serving this, or is this like in waiting period before something? Because if he has a parole officer, or if he has any sort of representative that is like post conclusion, he's serving a sentence of this, let them know, because there are regulations that they have to follow within a time frame of it happening. And if it is a biding time before a court case, who's the prosecution? Maybe you find him on LinkedIn.
Maybe you have a girls' night that's just outside the radius.
Yes. Yeah. Put her in your car. She doesn't have an ankle monitor. Run. Yeah. And I would also check, like, see if she has...
My point with that was, if he tags along, then it'll get a little ping and he might have to go back.
Good call. Yeah, get lost. Take the long way. Get real lost on that way. Yeah. So the more that you can like be physically with her is the better. And let her discover those things, like it's always one of those things of being like, it's like when you look through someone's phone and then you like find something that, but you're like, I don't want to tell them I looked through their phone. So it's like, oh, can I see this thing? Or you set someone up to essentially hand you the evidence. So it's, you don't have coming from you in that space. So I think for stuff like that, like, does he have an air tag in her car? You can be like, hey, I saw this TikTok about like someone who like their like car got air tagged by some random person. Like, and I'm afraid it happened to my car. Like, let's check. And then it doesn't happen. It's like, okay, like let's check yours too. Like maybe someone did. And then, you know what I mean? Like doing those things that like sets her up for her discovering like, oh, okay. You can't tell someone what the person they're with is like, but you can show them. Also, how is this man financially going to provide for anybody?
Saying.
Rob, 6 months. By the way, men do not admit to things that they didn't do. They don't even admit to things they did do. Like, they don't do that at fucking all. That's a fucking Curtis answer.
I need to see his booking photo. Can you please send it?
Please.
All right. Well,
there's a new episode in Poker Face. There's a episode with an ankle monitor. And I was flexing my knowledge on that to Mats too. And Mats is like, what? And I was like, dude, somebody had one.
All right. We're going to get into our next segment.
Our next segment, or our final segment really, is But Are They Wrong? Where we nominate a person, place, or thing, someone, current events, pop culture, zeitgeist, who we think deserves a public shaming. It could be something that you've heard of. It could be something we saw on social media. It could be incredibly niche, as Melisa often finds. And we discuss how horrible they are, the reasons why they're horrible, and then we boo at them altogether.
Yeah, so this week, my nomination is Anthony Emmanuel Labrador Sierra. In the bustling halls of Perrysburg High School, a tale unfolded that highlights not only a concerning breach of security, but also apparently a spectacular lack of athletic prowess.
So shady.
Today we're going to delve into the curious case of Anthony Sierra, a 24-year-old. For some reason, this case is still unfolding, and he decided to relive his teenage years by posing as a 16-year-old high school student.
Oh my God, it's an ABC Family movie.
This wasn't simply a case of identity misrepresentation. It was a fabrication that followed him to enroll into the Perrysburg High School for approximately 16 months. State Representative Haras N. Gabari, apologies if I said his name wrong, in a statement highlighted the importance of ensuring that Mr. Labrador Sierra remains in law enforcement custody following the deeply troubling revelation that he was posing as a minor. He also said that they're committed to public safety and sent a letter to Andy Wilson, the director of the Ohio Department of Public Safety. The goal, a full and thorough review questioning how this man managed to obtain an Ohio driver's license and how protocols can be strengthened to prevent such an occurrence. Director Wilson's response confirmed a disturbing fact. The Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles validated the documents against federal database maintained by the U.S. Customs and Immigration Services and the Social Security Administration. So the details of this is quite a saga. He contacted the school in November 2023, claiming to be homeless and from Venezuela and a victim of human trafficking. He presented a birth certificate from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela showing a birth date of December 2007, and he started as a student on January 19, 2024. Then a local couple, Kathy and Brad Melford, who had generously housed exchange students before, agreed to assist him. They granted him permanent guardianship and even helped him obtain a social security number and driver's license. And then this unraveled on May 14th when a woman named Evelyn Camacho contacted the Melfords. Her bombshell revelation: he was not 16, but 24 and was the father of her child. She provided a picture of his real driver's license showing a birth date of March 27, 2001, along with a Facebook picture of them together with a child. Police investigation confirmed his actual birth date. They also discovered he had an expired work visa and was considered an overstay in this country. His work visa, it turns out, expired the very year he reached out to the school. He was arrested on May 20th on forgery charges and remains in custody. Now, while the gravity of this situation is undeniable, there's an amusing, albeit minor, detail that emerged from this bizarre story. He was a member of the junior varsity soccer and swim teams.
JV.
So let's pause for a moment. A 24-year-old man playing JV soccer was actually a teenager. One has to wonder about his athleticism or lack thereof. Did he, with his adult strength, dominate on the field, or did he perhaps struggle to keep up with actual high schoolers, making coaches wonder why their promising young talent seemed to possess the soccer skills of a slightly above average armchair enthusiast? We don't have the play-by-play, but being that a 24-year-old was playing JV soccer hints at a certain deficiency. It also suggests that he likely wasn't exactly lighting up the scoreboards or dazzling opponents with his footwork. In fact, he was playing JV as a 24-year-old. It strongly implies that he wasn't just bad, but he sucked at soccer. And this is a truly remarkable feat considering his age advantage. So this is my vote for this week.
The JV twist is gold, because you know how many men are like, yeah, get me back there. Like, now I'm like so athletic. And I'm like, Mott says his head screwed on straight. He goes, I would never win in a sports event against high school or college me.
Will never, even though I do run track, I'm not running against my niece. I would never get on that track and run against her.
No, like, it's so funny to then be able to accept that, like, you're just like gonna be on J, because like that's embarrassing, but it's like you felt like you had to see it through. You had to be on J. You couldn't just say no.
This father,
men will do anything but pay child support. Like, you're enrolling in a high school. Yeah, that family who took him in. Yeah, I just also have to say that, like, you don't run a fake ID. It has to be like that's part of it. So like you don't have like a background check on that, but like, I don't know. I also think in general, we need to normalize reverse Google image search of people. Mm-hmm. Like,
well, Google has taken away a lot of those capabilities now, but I think in certain situations, we do need it.
Yeah. Get rid of the AI shit and like, let me reverse image.
Yeah.
Because did I try and reverse image search something the other day that I was like, I don't know if this is criminal or not. And I did. And I had a hard time finding it. Granted, the photo itself looked like AI. It was hard to find. Maybe I'll show you later.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a break. And then when we get back, we'll get into When we get back,
you have a sister with my name and you picked the other sister?
I know. I know.
That is so funny.
What's worse than an ad interrupting your favorite music or podcast? That uninspired coffee you've been drinking while working, which is why Flavia is elevating your everyday coffee experience. Now you can enjoy cafe-quality beverages like coffee, tea, frothy lattes, and creamy hot chocolate made right in your home office, actual office, or wherever you want to upgrade your mug with bold, delicious flavors. Visit Flavia.com to shop the collection of machines and beverages now.
This episode is brought to you by Max. The HBO original comedy special, Gerard Carmichael, Don't Be Gay, is now streaming on Max. Emmy-winning comedian Gerard Carmichael returns to the stage in his boldest special yet, bringing his sharp wit, unfiltered honesty, and the kind of vulnerability that's made his voice truly one of a kind. Don't miss Gerard Carmichael, Don't Be Gay. Now streaming on Max.
We off? 30 seconds of carefree bliss.
Oof, like wind in your hair carefree.
Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree.
Yes.
Like Doc slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox carefree.
He's on a roll now.
Spit toothpaste on the faucet.
You got it. You got it.
Peanut butter on the light switch.
Oh, spritz, spritz.
Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good.
Okay, we're back.
Use as directed.
We are back.
What do you got for us?
I have a nomination, and my nomination is Elmer's glue.
Oh.
Yeah, this is great. So I want to give credit where credit is due, because this did not, I did not discover this unless you consider it coming off of my For You page, me discovering this. Somebody else put in that work, and they deserve their flowers. And they kind of do this a lot. Cody Jacob, and their username is I am Cody Jacob. So, first of all, he did coin the term in this, and I love when people say something that they don't know that that's going to come out of their mouth, and then they laugh and they go, "That's actually really funny," and it was. Mm-hmm. And so he's referring to this as the true slime community. So he, as someone who enjoys watching slime ASMR videos, has started to see this discourse going on, which is in the last couple months, these OG slime creators have been talking amongst themselves, talking to their audience and posting on socials, as well as communicating with these brands, being something is wrong, trying to troubleshoot the slime that they're making. And they're something's not coming together. It's just not working. And it's it's got the glue, you got the borax, you got there are these specific ingredients is what you do. And they've been making it for years. I've been doing this for all this time. And it's just not coming together. And they finally pinpointed it down to the glue. It was the glue was the issue. The Elmer's glue.
The glue isn't holding it together.
The glue is not holding it together. And it's like a baking soda, all of this stuff. So they reach out to Elmer's, and Elmer's goes, yeah, we actually reformulated. They reformulated, took out the singular ingredient in the glue, which is what binds this whole thing together to make this slime. So it's still glue. The Elmer's glue still functions. Paper. Yes, still functions normally. Okay. The only real benefit of this ingredient, seemingly from what I've read, has been I think it's some sort of random binder, and it wasn't even on purpose that people figured out you could make slime from this. It was all of this stuff. They removed this ingredient for absolutely no reason. So now you can't make slime using Elmer's. But then they say, don't worry, everybody. We just launched a brand new product called Elmer's Glue Magical Liquid Slime Activator Solution. Okay. So you could buy it. Buy
both.
You can buy it for about 100 times markup from what you would buy a big vat of glue for. You can buy this small, petite, little thing. And now the biggest kicker of all of this is a comment that says, I've used Elmer's activator. It doesn't let the slime last long term. It's ruined by day 2 after making it. They won't even be able to ship their slimes out. Elmer is destroying the true slime community. And I'm going to bet you right now, Elmer's going to try and monopolize and make their own slime.
Is there other glue that they can use?
I think it's just
that Elmer's, when you think of glue, school glue, you think of Elmer's.
Well, some people say it's actually not working as well in general for other stuff too. I think it's like one of the ones that like it's more readily available, but also like Elmer's glue is popping up. Like their biggest consumer, slime, is people who are making slime, and so
they're using it in a big batch too.
Yeah, and they're selling it. They sell it in these giant gallons, and so their business is booming like never before. And instead of like being like, wow, amazing, welcoming that, maybe doing a collab of something with you've decided that you're like, well, if we can make this much money from what we're already doing, how about we destroy all of the competition to make even more money in this way? So people are looking into like off brands and different kinds of things. But I think the issue is that at least here, this is what is most readily available and is what's sold in bulk. Like Elmer's has the monopoly on the fucking glue market. And now it's time for somebody else to step up. But boy, oh boy, this to me was such a like, I don't know. I guess I expected better of Elmer. This is like Crayola doing something fucked up. You know what I mean? Like this is like a childhood brand. They
changed the recipe to those. Was it Ross crayons where it just felt like wax and it didn't like?
Oh, there's no color came off.
Yeah,
it just pills, and you're like, well, yeah, and it's like if they made the crayons where you couldn't melt them anymore because they didn't want people making that like 2013 melted crayon art. It's like, well, now we're gonna sell crayons that melt, and I'm like,
do you think when they took it out that they realized it would mess with the slime? Was that always the?
I think so, because they launched the activator at the same time as the reformulation. And so when they started responding to people and people figured out it was the glue, they were like, oh, don't worry. Like, it was like, we made a problem to have created a solution for you already. And it's like, what? And now they've lost out in their biggest customer base.
Yeah. They got greedy.
Glue. They got sticky fingers. Yeah. But I will say, someone says Aileen's tacky glue works with a regular activator, and other people are looking in to like finding their friends with science backgrounds to figure out different products that have the same chemical components, because that's the whole thing. Like it is science. Like you need that specific chemical, but then if you have a different chemical in there, it can like deactivate X, Y, and Z or whatever. So yeah. But shout out to the true slime community.
I'm sorry you lost your product.
Yeah. And Elmer's?
I got to talk to my niece about it because she's very much into slime. I got to ask her if she's noticed a difference.
Yeah. Because I also think that maybe if it's like a store-bought slime, they're putting like extra preservatives and those kinds of things like in it. But apparently all the big slime creators, people aren't spotting those orange caps anymore. So...
Well.
And I love information like this. And I love when people share this information online, because like I didn't care at all. And now I care a lot. Yeah. It's quite easy to get me to be on your side in these things. Like I'm now incredibly outraged. I have not bought Elmer's glue probably since elementary school. And I will continue to not buy Elmer's glue. Now it was unintentional.
I have a glue stick maybe, and it's probably dried out because I don't know when I used it. But I think I do have a glue stick. Other than that, can't tell you the last time I bought some glue.
Yeah, now I'm like, I was not intentionally boycotting. Now I am. We gotta get the drag queens on though. Get a new glue stick that's better for the eyebrows.
Yeah.
When did you buy glue before?
When I used to do Not Too Deep with Grace. We had the cue cards. Well, that's the end of the episode.
It is. I also noticed that the Elmer's glue cow, I'm a little concerned about. Isn't there gelatin in glue, which comes from cow hooves?
They used to say that glue came from horseshoes for a long time, but then they were like cow.
Oh, like the clumpies, not the metal part. Yeah, so I wonder. And also looks strikingly similar to the Baby Bell cheese logo, but less cute. So, Baby Bell, maybe now's your time.
I feel like the Baby Bell one's always flirting.
No, well, that's because she's slutty. Like the Elmer's cow is not slutty. The Baby Bell cow, she's like slutty. Baby, doesn't she have a nose ring?
Don't both of them have nose rings? Or
yeah, but
at
one
least
of them has nose rings in like a mullet way, and I'm pretty sure she has earrings. She's a whore, clearly. Yeah, and she's so cute. Ugh.
I feel like the glue one is like the stud, and the Baby Bell is the femme.
Yeah. Even before you said that, in my mind, they were both lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
This poor cow didn't do anything. They're just now the face of the movement.
Yeah.
Rude. Okay. Oh, it's not made from cows.
It was something. There was a
well, Elmer's Products Inc. uses a cow as its mascot. The so probably used to produce products are made from synthetic materials. In the past, some glues did contain casein, like the protein from milk. Huh. I always thought it would have been like Jell-O. Who is the Elmer's glue cow married to?
That's a question.
What? What other mascot is Elsie the cow? What?
What are the answers, Megan?
Hold on. So this is a whole other cow. Elmer is the husband of Elsie the cow, who is the mascot for the Borden Company, which is the cheese.
But aren't all cows female though? Because the bull is the male.
No, they're not.
Oh.
However, so not all cows are female. Hold on, that's cows and bulls just different gender. Are cows and bulls just different genders of the same species? Yes. Cows are female, bulls are male, and both are species, otherwise known as domestic cattle.
Yeah.
Okay,
like
cow is really common usage. It refers to as a bovine, and it usually refers to a female bovine. And bull typically reserved for uncastrated males, but it's not always the case either. So they are canonically lesbians then.
Yeah.
Because they...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
titties.
But the which one did you say? So the
Elsie
Elmer's
and Elmer,
one.
that's for the Bowden.
Yeah, so the Elmer's one identifies as male.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Trans.
Yeah, and also I don't know if they still have their titties. I don't know if they're I don't know what,
I just see them from the neck up.
Not my business whatsoever. No. But Elsie has a husband, Elmer, and seems like Elsie's got the titty milks are juicing. Yeah. Don't know about Elmer's gland situation.
Yeah.
But now I do actually ship the other. Why? Also, by the way, why are there more than one cows named Elmer? Everybody's a cow
Elmer.
mascot. Bowden mascot? Yeah. Oh, Borden. Sorry.
Borden. Oh, yes, Borden.
Oh, that's a different one. Oh.
Borden's one looks a little slutty too, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, they also gave her seemingly a human body, and she's standing on her hind legs, and she's got a little necklace.
Yeah.
And she's got one single curly.
No, she looks more wholesome.
Hey, so did Nancy Reagan. She's a throat goat.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like Elsie walking on her hind legs.
She used to have little commercials, didn't she?
I don't know. I've never seen this brand in my life. Okay, well, we learn something new every day.
We did.
All cows, a little gay.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you enjoyed. Let us know your favorite bovine. Let us know your favorite bovine mascot. And yeah, write in for your But Am I Wrong segments. We also take nominations. So if you have something you want us to talk about for a wrong of the week, you can tag us on TikTok. You can send us a DM to our accounts. You could also, if you're like, oh, I have something I want them to rant about, submit it to us. But if you also want to rant, that is opened up for that too. For the But Are You Wrong segment, you could just go off on your own little rant that you would like, and we're giving you the soapbox for it. So vote for who you think was wrong in each segment on today's episode, and stay tuned for the rest of the content that we release.
Tomorrow, we've got See You Next Tuesday, where we review those votes. You guys, like Megan said, write in. We'll read your thoughts and feelings too. Wednesday, we've got nothing on the schedule, but you can make your own schedule. Choose your own adventure. Listen to an old episode. Thursday, we've got Don't Blame Me, where people write in, call in, ask for advice. And then Friday, we've got Fisting Friday, where we just talk. Usually about our lives. Well, always about our lives. But TV, movies, whatever. We may be doing coming soon. But am I watching for Sinners? A lot of people were excited about that. We had some people write in sent us some messages asking like, please, please, please do this. Also on Spotify, someone said a possible, but am I watching for Sinners? Oh, darn. I guess I have to watch it again. So people are excited. The spirit. Someone else, this is from the regifted PR episode of But Am I Wrong? Meghan, not naming Justin Bieber, but this clearly being about him is so funny. That was from Tori Heck. Moises said, Meghan, love you. But who on earth is still a Jojo Siwa fan in 2025?
No, I am an island of one, and it's really hard.
She voted for the Cheeto.
No, she didn't.
That's what this person said.
I'm sorry. I don't think Jojo Siwa knows how to vote.
Yeah, that sounds like an excuse to me. And then Jojo, I don't know how to say her last name, but the singer Jojo is the only Jojo we should be standing.
Wait, what is that? What is her last name?
Levesque?
Oh, I think it's Levesque.
Never heard it out loud. Never even seen it, I don't think. But I knew it was her, so I have seen it. I would have seen it at some point. And then someone else said, then Nicole said, unfortunately, I've also been plagued with being a JoJo fan. So
thank you.
Thank you for listening. And we will circle back. Goodbye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.
Can you actually change your personality if you want to? How does peer pressure work, and why is it so powerful? Should you ever really trust your gut when you make a big decision? These are just a few of the topics we've recently covered on my podcast, Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and each episode of Something You Should Know covers multiple topics that are likely relevant to you. You'll discover things you can use in your life today, right now, like how to have a great conversation, how to be more courageous, the anatomy of the perfect apology, and much, much more. To date, there are over 1,000 episodes of Something You Should Know, and we've gotten over 4,000 mostly 5-star reviews. I invite you to check out Something You Should Know. Look for the bright yellow light bulb on the blue background. Something You Should Know, wherever you listen to podcasts.
From the podcast that brought you to each of the last lesbian bars in the country and back in time through the sapphic history that shaped them, comes a brand new season of cruising beyond the bars. This is your host, Sarah Gabrielli, and I've spent the past year interviewing history-making lesbians and queer folks about all kinds of queer spaces, from bookstores to farms to line dancing and much more.
For 11 years, every night women slept illegally on the common.
We would move down to the West Indies to form a lesbian nation.
Meg Kristen coined the phrase women's music, but she would have liked to say it was lesbian music.
And that's kind of the origins of the Comedy Hero Collective.
You can listen to Cruising on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes air every other Tuesday starting February 4th.